Thank you so much, Tejo.
Pleasure.
Sensei will be with us in just a moment, I'm sure. How do you make so much sound come out of so few strings? I think Sensei will be out in just a moment. Everybody just let those final notes keep echoing through your mind.
Lauren, do you know where Bob's teaching next?
He'll be at Aikido of Mountain View tomorrow. Did you have something else in mind?
Just curious. Time for announcements, you know.
One more minute. Those of you in Northern California, I'm sure you probably feel the wind still blowing like the last 2 days. That finally calmed down here in the Oakland Hills, but yesterday was just glad it wasn't October. Yeah.
Beautiful spring day around here, though, for sure.
Yeah, today, beautiful spring day. Yeah.
It's about time. We've had a lot of rain.
Okay, here comes Sensei. Good evening, Sensei.
Hey. Okay. You can tell by the drawing that Koch is out of town. This is from last class. Talk to me. Any carryover from the last class? Insights, problems, questions? Talk to me. Was anybody out there at the last class?
Maybe you have to call on someone.
I'm not going to do that.
Sensei, Bob here.
Hey, Bob there.
One big carryover was just the importance of building that character, and don't underestimate how important it is to work on building a well-balanced, integrated character.
Yeah. It's a major piece that's missed in spiritual work or awareness work. The functioning character as opposed to the concept of a character. We almost have to come up with two words for the upper half. Oh, yes, I have a body. I'm aware of the body. But in many respects, many of those types, or let's say, aren't good jocks, for example. They're not great. They're not natural. But the body we're talking about, this experiential body, very critical and often usually lost in spiritual work or awareness work. I'll try to say that better another time. But yeah, body experiencing. Oh, since they tried to get across, but he talked funny. Put it in your body. Okay, that one drove me up the wall for a while. Put it in my body. So here I've got this good sized meditation space, and I put that in my body. But to have the experiences here as opposed to just here. Okay. Put it in your body, the opening finer dimensions that are available, but pick them up internally, internal through your body. Okay. And as that gets more experiential, there's also awareness. It's so we're not saying we don't have to understand anything. As you get this more experience, there'll be more understanding, hopefully then more actual experience. Okay. Didn't have to say that a much better, much clearer another time. But yes, character, the center, the body. Careful of the word body, I mean this. In energy, you'll have an energy body, energy dimension, you'll have an energy body. In finer, there's still a body form, finer energies, finer energy form, but it's still, for lack of words, a body, a centered character. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Somebody, anything before I go off on a tangent? Yes.
This is Diana. Hi. For those who don't know, I'm on here twice because I can see you on a big screen, but I can talk on my phone. I wrote a poem last time after the class called, I don't know, it just says Bump from the Bottom. Okay, it's a very short, structured poem. Bumped, earthquake, what to do? Crazy making, up or down, bigness, stay. The structure is called a pyramid poem because of how many syllables are in the lines, but I think what I was remembering was that There was we're either sucked down or pushed up, but either way, our the importance is to stay with it. So that was my take.
I liked it, Diana. Yeah. Okay, so what do we have tonight? Two views on the underworld. I want to go over, hopefully clearer, how we have been working the under terrain a bit historically. Okay. And that's been to enhance this character. So if Bobby is feeling a little weak or not sure or whatever, easy, settle, sense a little bit deeper. So we're here at this first one, let's say, and energies start to come up. Hey, energies come up. And by the way, I want to stretch this piece out because it's very important. Up and down and now up the character. The character. So very soon, he's not such a weak Bobby. He's starting to be a little, let's say, stronger, just for example. Okay. He could be calmer. He could be more loving. He could be whatever, but I'm just using kind of an athletic kind of form of it. Bobby feels a little more awake, a little more alert. I'm ready for the day kind of thing. So we've used the tapping under to enhance this character, to get down, Bobby, to be a little more alive, alert here, Bobby. We continue down to the next level. Okay. Boom. And again, deeper. There's a bottom line there, a bottom floor. Okay. And from there, energies up and down and up, boom, 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 mixing, creating, breeding this character. Now, he doesn't want to be called Bobby anymore. He's starting to be a Robert. And his expanse is a bit better. I'm more ready for the world. Not the entirety of the world, but for the world I live in, let's say. Boom. So I call that enhancement, where we've been using the energies, whatever qualities are there in those energies, to enhance the character. So we've been using sort of an underworld approach. Did I cover that? Did I say that? Okay. Okay. So good ground, depth. We're talking about going deeper. That's what we're going for. We're talking about settling and opening. If you're kind of uptight, you can't get to the ground. Easy, settle and open. Easy. As soon as you feel like you're here, I'll go a little bit deeper. And up and down and up. That I call it 2.5 or 3 beat, really seems to facilitate, I think, because in the old days didn't teach it that way. I just thought as up energy, here I am. But I thought, no, we need to hang out with it a bit longer because it's been missed so much. It needs a couple extra pumps. Okay. Also to get a clearer sense of my idea about a body as to the actual body, the functioning body. Again, we need almost 2 different words for body. It says, I have a body, I see it, I can feel it. Yeah, but that's not this body that sort of rises from under body. Okay, so I don't have the words tonight for that, but do you follow what I'm trying to say here with this? And functioning body, a body that grows from the seed in its deeper, using the potted plant theory, deeper in the pot. A seed is planted, and from that seed, boom, that's a Robert seed, energies up and down and up. And there is Robert. Okay. Did I say anything intelligent yet? Did I confuse you yet?
Hi, this is Diana again.
Yeah.
Diane. Okay, so what flashed in front of me was a time decades ago where we're standing on the mat and you're looking at us and I know your arms are big, whatever. And you're saying, feet. I want to see more feet. I want to see more feet. And the young man standing next to me looked at me and he said, I don't understand what he means. I have 2 feet. How can I have more feet?
Yeah. That's an upper thing. Yes, I have a feet. What's he talking about? There's my feet. You can smell them from over there. Yeah, easy. From deeper ground. Boom, this thing happening. It comes up from under through the feet, mixing this new body. Let's hit it again, a little fuller. Boom. Now there's a guy with ground connection. If we were just using hopping or jumping a little bit for an example, that guy who's done a little bit of this should be able to hop higher, hop further. Okay, dumb example, but we'd have to do some of those things in the early years, especially to get people to realize the benefit of what we were doing. You want to hop better? Well, then settle and open and get a little deeper and understand what I'm trying to say. And now, here comes a better hopper. Boom. Anyway, where the hell are we here? Thank you, Diane. Yeah, Diane's from the old days, way back when. Not to age you, Diane, but just to give you give the people historical perspective here.
I'm history.
We did a lot of good energy work in those days. Really put time in, right? Night after night after night. Not counting dojo mat time. Boy. Okay, somebody, where are we? Where are we?
Yeah, Sensei, I was just going to say with that is that the up and the down and doing it a few times, like making a few passes with it at least, it seems to have somewhat of a not only a filling out aspect, but also a cleansing kind of aspect, so that the level that wasn't as fine kind of gets cleansed out, and what's left then is this finer level.
The real character there, the Robert, not the Bobby. I like that. I like the way you laid that out. Yeah, that let's say the first beat, let's say if I heard you right, the first beat is clearing out some of Bobby's residue down again. And now this one, because it's clearer here, this one can be the actual Robert functioning, character centered. I like that. Is that basically what you said?
Yeah, and even a few passes. So, it takes me a few passes to actually.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, this isn't a 1 minute thing and you got it. Some of us practice and practice and practice. We just, oh yeah, I understand. I got it. Leave me alone. We're not of that school. Yeah. I think you're right. Thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to hopefully be clear on the distinction between our historical use of under, okay, and this other thing I started to bring up last time or lately, this third great quality. I didn't want people to get too confused between what we're doing here and that presentation, if and when it comes to you. Okay.
Steve.
Steve.
I just, I don't see it as confused between the two, because in a sense, you mentioned it at the last workshop about really getting down underneath. And it seems to me that before you really can get down underneath, you got to be able to be in your feet at least. You got to be able to have some connection to your physical being in some way. So you're not just up here thinking about, oh, I'm going to get down underneath.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
again, the up here guy understands down under. He understands basement. Oh yeah, basement. Yeah. He understands deeper. He understands underground caves. He understands all of that. But and I think what you're saying is, well, first basic, just be here a bit more. Okay. Now, as I check my body, I'm a little fast at this. What I'm feeling is my butt bones on the chair. I really feel it. Really just kind of stood out. Okay, easy, a little bit more. Settle. Oh. I felt a little warmth in the bottom of my feet touching the floor. Okay, easy. Now, just a feeling this is a general settled with the whole system. So nothing particular, a physical point, but just a feeling of all of me is more settled. Okay? Yeah. Then I double check it. Okay. And I had this feeling of a bit of a floor spread. In fact, my hands, I think, move that way. Bit of a floor spread. That clues me in that I'm at floor level and sort of okay there. How do I know? Because it's a floor. Okay. Soon I'll start to go deeper. I'll settle into deeper. And then we'll start this process here. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. I don't want to start digging down deep if I'm
Don't
not
start.
here.
Yeah, basically don't start it from up here.
Right.
You're not really starting. Yeah. I mean, you may really begin from there, but you're not beginning yet. Anything that this guy was thinking about or bitching about in my early meditation years, I wouldn't say I'm meditating now because I was sitting on, quote, my meditation pillow in my, quote, meditation room. I wasn't there yet, even though I was sitting on a pillow in the room. I was up here still bitching about work or that idiot over there or whatever. Only when I got down to where to think about the bullshit of the day, I'd have to make a real effort to get back to the bullshit of the day. It just wasn't there. Then I said, now, inner sensing finer, the meditation is starting. Yeah. So get in the habit of not of your version of that. Did I cut you off?
No, that's exactly what I was trying to get across. Because, referring back to last workshop, and you really talked about coming down deeper. Much of what I found myself doing for the last few weeks is really coming. It's almost like an excavation. You're just going down, but you're going down from a fullness, not from, like you said, not up here.
Yeah.
There's a real chipping away. I think that's part of what you said, putting your time in.
Yeah.
You have to do some chipping away.
Yeah, again, this distinction between, let's call it a awareness experience, is different than, I don't know what to call it, the actual experience.
Yeah.
So again, we need maybe better words there, but that's where the upper types, usually very smart people, good brains, whatever, and some of them have a body. Some have a pretty good body. Some might even be athletes. Okay. But to continue to be better, then they have to sort of reverse this pattern and from the deeper under start to get a fuller body. That's what O Sensei had Sadaharu O do. Okay. I believe Sadaharu O was one of the sort of awareness types, but he was a good athlete. Okay. he went from a guy with a lot of promise, batting, to suddenly going into a long-term slump and became the strikeout king. His batting coach was an Aikido guy, brought him to the dojo to meet O-sensei, and O-sensei said, we got to get you down there a bit. Okay, so he had him stand on one foot. Now, don't go crazy on that one. That was for Sadaharu. Oh, you stand on one foot. You don't have to all stand on one foot. That was, and by doing that, Sadaharu got deeper and deeper, and from the depths, this mix creating soon to be the hitting champion of all times. This fantastic guy. Okay. All right. Did I lay that story out okay with what we're talking about? Yeah. So, O-sensei himself, of course, was aware of, before he became O-sensei, in his martial arts journey, of course, was very well centered and had a hell of a body and stuff like that. And he got really, really good. But he said to me that at that time, he was also hit and miss a lot. Sometimes just wasn't there. Touch of confusion because of that hit and miss. So that's when he is drawn to Takeda sensei. Now, Takeda is, could I say, brilliant at this deeper centered character thing. He really went down deep with it, mixed up one hell of a warrior, okay? And he was just good at that. So O-sensei studied, hung out, was mentored at that time with this fuller, deeper. And then when he caught on to that, he was good before, but now he's even better. And then he has to move on to the next guide teacher, who introduces the clearer sense of what the circle is. If we're talking about this as mainline center. Where am I going? So O-sensei basically did what we're trying to do here with, let's enhance this character. Let's go a bit deeper, up and down and up. Enhance character. Not just once, people. We practice it. Because I figure the first few, at least, there's a lot of awareness about it. But as you continue, it becomes more and more experiential. Okay. And as you play with it, you can kind of catch your own percentage. But I figure my first pass is heavily awareness of it, with some actual experience of this who grows from the depths. Okay. But as I continue, the percentage changes with more and more of this unit that grows from the deeper. And less mental awareness, whatever, how's it going? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Did I say that right? Are the stories fitting in? So Sensei did it, had Sadaharu do it, and dramatic change. He was trying to get us to do it. When I asked him about this, he said, well, why do you think I taught Swadiwaza for the non-Aikidos? That's where we walk around on our knees and do techniques from our knees. It was a way of getting people to hopefully be on the mat floor on their knees. The first thing when you're on your knees, if you're going to think, you sort of just topple over. It's very easy. Okay, so you learn real quick. You can't be thinking and walking around on your knees because it gets, So there's that first. You settle down to, let's say, mat level or floor level, and you can move around without that thing happening. As you sit, you basically, hopefully, settle and open a bit. Now you're tapping that first puddle, pool, pond, set up there. You take that first puddle of energy. And if you're smart, you intake it and you do a 3 count. Okay. Up and down and up as that character. The guy who's on his knees doing technique, he should be whatever, stronger, more move better, something. There ought to be an enhancement of the character. Okay, so that's O-sensei keeps telling me, That's why. And again, the teachers learn, and you've heard this before, but they learn when a sensei was around, he's going to bitch about any techniques they're doing standing up. So if they notice he was around quickly, the whole class would go down and the teacher would be teaching him swariwaza because those sensei wouldn't bitch. Said, well, there's hope. They're down there. Let's hope they connect with that. Da 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 da. I don't think, no, again, certain communication things with those sensei, like what do you say in the dojo all the time? But I don't think Sensei clearly laid out how this worked. I think more it was, I'll introduce them to this and hope that some of them go deeper and hope that they realize how this works. That's my sense of it, okay? All right. So far we're on the same pattern, okay? Hey, so far? Anything we've missed about this enhancement? Is Autumn on tonight?
Yeah.
She is?
Hi, Sensei.
Hey, Autumn. Now, I'm not sure where you are today because I haven't checked on you. I'm sorry, people, but sometimes I can scan from a distance. So you set your gig up this life very nice. My first catch on you. Yourself said, hey, it's very important in this life that we do show business, that we get into acting. Okay? That really helps. When the self is there saying, let's do this, a lot of guidance. Okay? It seems to me, though, again, I haven't checked on you lately, but it seems to me there was a little time in there, and it's the last year or whatever, where you're not pumping the pump. You're not pumping the pump quite enough. And you can pick that up when you're saying, gee, do I really have it? Or anything like that. You got to start pumping the pump. Okay. The actress character may start to fade. Of course, we'll fade a bit, but boom, we can pump it back up real fast and even move on. So if you're following what I'm saying, double check that you're pumping the pump for the actress-centered character. Okay, because I think that one's sort of got lost in there a little bit. And what a shame when you set it up so nice. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. That is very true. I think it's the deeper you go, kind of the more sensation and experience comes to be experienced, right?
Yeah.
And
And
for a
again,
while,
the 3 count people is fuller and fuller, so there's more experience. Yeah, I just love the 3 count. I used to just do it as a 1 count, but the 3 count really seems to improve it more and more. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, would you say that having the 3 count and going deeper allow you to get bumped out less?
Well, you won't get bumped out by the things that used to bump you out. You'll get bumped out by the next.
Okay.
There may be a time where you're a good actress, very good actress, and one day, lo and behold, great actress will bump you. It's the way of creation. In a certain way, the creation doesn't want us to stop recreating ourselves. And when we stop, it tries, your system tries to bump you a little bit to say, come on. Okay, and it bumps in many different ways. Okay, yeah. But there will be some kind of potential bump. Go ahead.
I find I get bumped out after more than I do during now.
Let's see. After the show is over? After? What if it's saying you did good and bump, there's more?
Yeah.
So you can't rest on your laurels for when you had a good night.
No.
Unfortunately, sometimes I get, not now, I need a day off, leave me alone, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or
It's
sometimes it bumps at a time where, no, I'm busy doing this, not now, kind of thing. I'll come back to you in a few hours when I'm free, okay?
right. It's a way of life or whatever.
Yeah, but that would be more my sense of that.
Okay. Thank you
Did
so much.
good, there's more. Yeah. I'd almost put money down on that one. If you want, I could fine tune and scan your system one day, but well, trust me on that one. That's what's happening. Okay, people. Thank you, Autumn. Getting back using the actress as an example, as the actress gets better playing this kind of process, then the world she's in, the world of theater, whatever, the world of theater is more in harmony. So the better, fuller, more alive, glowing the actress is, the more apt the theater world will take notice. Okay. More apt to receive roles. But if you're starting to dwindle, now that's weakening also. So if that center weakens, then the world trying to support you sort of can't. Yeah, having trouble. But it just comes more alive and more alive and more alive. There's a law that the world you're in is being touched by that. Okay. But I say that right. Did you catch that? Yeah. And again, you may not get instant results. You could do a whole afternoon pumping the pump, so to speak. And nobody calls you that day to offer you a job. It's not necessarily instantaneous. But if you keep it up, how long? I don't know. 3 days, 3 weeks, I don't know. But if you're really into this, you keep it up. You keep it up. You keep it up. Boom. Okay. So it's not a 1 minute thing. Yeah. Okay.
Sensei. Chris here from New Zealand. Much the same sort of story. My job is in sales, so I had a couple of weeks of sort of down, not great, not the same rhythm I had previous months. So I think late last week, early this week, maybe I sort of was driving thinking, well, maybe I am in that dark, the deep, sort of being pushed into the deep dark. So I took the time to up and down, pump. And then after that, I guess the negative emotions that are attached to, bad performance, you suddenly start shining about remembering what you bring to the sales, what comes from the sales, what character you are. And that helped. And from there, the growth and sort of, I guess the bit more of the joy came back into what I was doing, remembering
and experiencing people, remembering and experiencing.
Yeah.
I can step on the mat today and remember how damn good I was 10, 15 years ago, but I can't do it. So it's not just memory, it's the actual experience. Boom. Actual experience. Yeah. I just wanted to remind them. Sorry.
Yeah. And it was good to experience. And it was, well, when you say remind it, the experience is, this is what you bring. This is the joy you bring to that situation, or the character you bring. And pretty much, I could almost guarantee it sort of after a bit of a moment that it turned, well, I didn't see the darkness anymore. The light was more coming out. So I wasn't in the dark. I felt I wasn't in that bottom layer. I come up.
But that's the bottom line at the level you're at.
Yeah.
Good enough, deep enough. Now the seed is planted here of salesmen, and boom, up and down and up, and here he comes back again. with knowledge about, oh, you're supposed to be, remember that you're, whatever you said, giving a joy or
Yeah.
whatever you said.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
remembers, experiences that again. Oh, yeah. And that's even more of something there. Yeah.
And
So he's
and
upgrading as a salesman.
and it was the balance of that dark experience coming back up to that, I guess, that light experience, which come out in the character. There was a balance there. It's like, yes, I understand that part. Yeah, I've experienced that. Now it's this part. And the mixing created that, which was a great help. Thank you. It was a great experience.
No, this should be kind of fun.
Yeah.
It'd be exciting a certain way. I mean, to
But I
shift
guess-
from a Bobby to a Robert even is kind of, wow, I'm such a nerd or whatever I am as a Bobby. What an asshole he is. And just that ability of shifting to a Robert with the energies and whatever, the enhancement that Robert had, even that little shift is kind of wow. So I enjoy the shit out of this work, although there are times where, oh my God, of course, we all have that, pattern going on. Okay. But we don't commit suicide here. We know it's the next getting ready and we ride the next and whatever. Yeah. So basic training patterns. Anyone who's trained long term knows this. They had to go through it, Yeah. Everybody has a runner's wall. Is that what they call it? I can't run any further. I can't go. But when they break through that wall, they continue and they're feeling revived. And they were just ready to die a minute ago, saying, no more, please, no more. But they learn how to move through. And boom, they're at a different level. Yeah. We say second wind. Yeah, a nice phrase, but it really means that let's say the runner's a Bobby. He can only go half a mile. He runs into a wall there. But if he learns how to pass through that wall, there's a Robert running. So that's what second wind is in my terminology. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. Go ye and sell. Okay.
What was funny was that the time that it actually was, I was allowed to go deeper. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but I had the sense to go a little bit deeper and really experience where I was. Like the weeks before, it was sort of trying, but it was sort of didn't quite mix correctly. And I couldn't say what the moment was. Going through the same process, it almost allowed a bit more depth, a bit more experience in the darkness. And I guess maybe even acceptance and experiencing what was, and that change brought the character out more.
Okay.
Right.
Well, Sensei loves this word soaking. He uses it in many different places. I think to soak for a while at this, whatever level you're at, where the seed is planted, okay, where the light begins to show, to hang out there. Okay, hang out there. And maybe you picked up hang out here a little earlier through the dark. Because hang out here, it's okay. It's just dark. You know the game. It's going to go deeper, easy. It's okay. Hang out here with this. Flavor this. Hit the light. Hang out with that for a bit more. Hang out with it. Hang out with it. And then you can start that process. So I would think that hang out with that level right there a bit longer and not just boom. Okay, now pump it up.
That was the shift. There was a moment of the experience was more experiential. It was more pure, I guess, in the darkness, and then that helped the pump on the way up and through. It was great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Well, he brought it up, so let me. we brought up downtime a long time ago. I just want to make sure people haven't misunderstood that. If downtime. Forever and a day, downtime. Say downtime is a movement. It's sort of natural. It's in nature. My tree had a downtime. It's starting to blossom now, but had a downtime, but not forever and a day. It brought it to another level, and boom! Now it's starting to glow again, starting to put new buds out. Boom, boom. So in that sense, we're very similar. So the downtime is, yes, a pause. Yes, in a certain way, do nothing, easy. But it's trying to bring you I don't know, my words will be right, but I'm going to say it. Tries to bring you someplace. It's trying to bring you to a location where, in Chris's case, he sees it as a bit of light. That's his clue that he's reached that floor that's proper form. It right there was easy to get to, whatever. So the downtime is to bring you to a certain level and then come alive at that level with our process. Boom, 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 boom. Let me see if I said that right. Yeah, I just didn't want you to misunderstand downtime and not realize it was bringing you to a place where maybe not that first day, maybe not the second day. Depends how long this downtime is, but it's not to get, downtime. Downtime to touch something, and when it's ready to go and you hit it again, maybe this third day, for example, you hit it and boom, that's the day where it wants to show the next level of you. Boom, bang, bing. Okay, so I don't know, just that you don't misunderstand downtime.
And that's exactly what it was, Sensei. It was 10 days of thinking that like, man, sales, I've got a month to go, weeks are drifting by and I'm getting worried and then that one day it's like, whoa, okay, there's something different about my process today. And it was nice on the way out.
See, a pro at this, as you get really, really good at this, when you're ready to cut your wrist, well, how did Chris say it? Really worried?
Yeah, not quite wrist, but yeah, okay.
It's not that you don't worry, you don't totally believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, this is a long one. The results better be worth it because this is there. I'm not selling. Nothing's happening. And you keep at it, and when it's time, when you reach the right level, boom. Yeah. Okay.
And it wasn't just the sales, it was the environment, the situation around me, like the job, everything else vibrated, hummed way better.
Yeah.
It was really,
it
was great.
Center to circle to the center.
Yeah. It was a good lesson.
If you notice, I move my arm funny. My shoulders are dinged again. That's my forever thing. A lifetime of handing my arm for Shionage to new people for the non-Aikido Shionage. And they throw you down there. So that was part of it. But historical, I always get it in the shoulders. So I have to play with that one day for fun. Rotator cuffs are a pain. You know why they're a pain? You can't pour a bottle of wine. Even two hands sometimes I have a little trouble pouring a bottle of wine. Now that's bad. I can lift a glass on my left pretty easy. But the pouring the bottle, oh, thank God Kachi's around. Kachi, pour me a glass of wine. Anyway, where the hell are we, people? Do we have any better sense of this, better sense of downtime to get to a certain level? Boom. And to be alert when you hit that level, boom. And if it's not clear to you, then you hit it again the next day. You know, or in that session that you're sitting with it, you hit it over and over. You know, how long? I don't know, 5 minutes, 15, 30, I don't know, whatever. But not just once. Right? I trust the system. It didn't go away, but there are things they want to show that maybe I don't know about yet. This is something new, so it maybe takes a bit longer. What I liked about my bitch, personal, is not knowing. I hate not knowing. Okay. And I have periods of not knowing, right? Believe it or not. I can have a day of not knowing, not being able to figure out something. I can have 2 days. I don't like it. 2 days of not knowing. I don't like it. Okay. But what I've learned is, let's say on a 2-day not knowing, the third day, it's, oh, I suddenly realized experience as a level in a way that I hadn't before. And oh, this is pretty cool. Right? Right? And I noticed longer periods, like let's say 5 days of not knowing. Oh God, I really hate that. Okay. You think you're losing it totally. It's totally gone. They'll never come back. But you keep hanging in there. And I noticed the 5-day periods. When it cleared, it was a big one. What's the word? It's a big, whoa, a big experience, a big insight. It was well worth 5 days of me moaning and bitching, because suddenly there was this real cool insight. Okay. So I learned, I still bitch about it. I don't like not knowing, but I've learned how to ride with it, knowing a bit better how it works. If that helps you any. Okay. When I was into bodybuilding, exercising stuff, I was always a lightweight, and it was hard for me to gain weight. And whenever I went on this month I'm going to highlight gaining weight. Almost as soon as I did that, the scale would start to go down. I'd lose a few pounds. Happen every damn time. And then the weight would start to come on, and I'd increase my weight, increase my muscle size. But it always on those periods went down a little bit before it went up. But once that happens a couple of times, you got it down. You figure if it happens, well, of course, it always happens. That's the way it works, whatever. You live with it. Knowing you lose a few pounds, but then you go up to a gain of 6 pounds. Yes, cool. Wow, 6 pounds. Oh, for a bodybuilder, that's a lot of muscle. Anyway. People, okay, we talked about the old basic enhancement factor using under, okay? Now, for some of you, sometime, possibly, there's this other thing that happens. Okay, say from the under, boom. Okay, not a continuation of the pool process. It won't be a lake and then a Great Lake and then okay? It's something its own. Boom. So we'll call on Steve Fleischman. Steve, who has been being bumped, could I say, by this. Could you tell us about that? Let's see, where should we start? Settle an opening start kind of thing? What were you doing when this showed itself, when this happened?
Yeah, let me see if I can get back to that. Some of the things you talked about from the last workshop really touched me in certain ways, and that sense that of opening more, giving space, that seemed to be very important to really and to take your time. I mean, there's a real tendency. I want to get done with this and get to the pot of gold immediately. that sense of soaking, taking time. So I would really not rush through this as if, okay, I've done this, I'm going to do that. No, give it time to be open with
Okay, so
space.
you're doing, and we jump in, you're doing your basic settling, but you added on a bit more opening you remember from that day when something different happened. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
And,
And we just want to remind people, notice that more space, more room. It's just a carryover from the 1x to the 2x to the 3x, but here it really jumps. More space really jumps. And that's an internal, not the space of Venus and Mars and wow. And there's so many galaxies. I'm not talking that space. I'm talking the inner space of your inner, finer dimensional world. Go ahead.
yeah, and also, not to get, I was thinking of what you said a little bit earlier, how you get pissed off when you don't know. And that bumping quality, it's easy to suddenly, oh, I'm suddenly thinking about my baseball team. And instead of, freaking out about it, just okay, and then come back once again, taking my time, not getting spooked by being thrown off, but coming back. And the sense I had is there's like a pipeline, or if you want to use a tree, the trunk going down deeper. There's that. And
So there you were sitting. Come on, stay on target. There you were sitting.
Yes,
Felt like a lot of depth tree trunk flavor.
right.
A lot of space opening.
Yeah, and one of the things I mentioned to you that kind of comes to mind talking about this is that last scene in Planet of the Apes when suddenly this Statue of Liberty emerges out of the sand. Well, for me, it was a I don't even know how to find the right words, but it was that golden statue was there waiting for my discovery. And and by discovery, I don't mean, oh, I see it now, but becoming that, feeling that, the sense of feeling there. There was a lot of feeling of this was different. This was something.
Experiential feeling, people. We need here.
Yes.
Because in my upper awareness, I can kind of feel. I have a body and I kind of feel what it's feeling. But this, again, we have to change the words here. Experiential feeling. We need a little different sense of it. Okay.
Yeah. And there's a
So,
sense of surprise as well. Not where does this come from? That out of nowhere.
okay, so let me go over this a bit because I don't want you to sort of groove around. When you talked about being bumped and thinking about your baseball team, that sounds like something that happens to this guy. He gets bumped by the pond of energy. Okay. But I'm saying, okay, we're not talking about that, how that works anymore. We're saying sometimes some of you may have this experience. It's big time where something goes womp and is there. Okay. Now he gave you a good clue. He said, seems like more space, more opening. Okay. I think very cool that. And then this thing was just there. What'd you say? Surprised you?
Yeah. It was.
Okay. And that's not a good enough word because even a dimensional Bobby moving to Robert will be a bit surprised by Robert's experience in Robert's world. So not your normal
No,
basic person surprise.
it's like you walk up to the edge of the Grand Canyon. Whoa, it's that kind of. It's jarring. It's more than just a minor surprise, but it's coming. When you're soaking, it may be total darkness. It's as if there's nothing here to latch onto, and then suddenly out of nowhere, here it is.
What we're trying to do here, and I keep saying it, what we're trying to do here is if this happens to you, that, well, one thing, you don't panic, but you kind of can sort of remember some of the tricks here, the more room, and that it's okay when that big thing emerges, big quality, I'll call it. It's energy, of course, people, everything is energy. But here I want to change from energy pools and energy puddles that have some qualities in there, of course, to enhance Bobby to Robert. There's a little bit of qualities in there. But this is big time something, okay? All right. So we have to stop in a certain way. We have to talk about it from this world, because that's the world we're in right now. But its experience and its happening is otherworldly, should we say? I have to be careful of words. It's here, it's now, but it's whoa, different. And that's why I want him to say, tell us the differences than a basic little pool of energy underneath you. Okay?
Yeah,
Clearly.
It touched something so basic. When we talk about the 1 and 2 qualities, they're
1, 2
familiar. I'm okay with them. I wear them comfortably. But here it has such a profound impact and emotional impact as well.
Okay, hold it right there. Now he got hit strongly with an emotional kind of reaction. Now, I'm not going to say all of you will feel the emotional reaction. I think you'll all pick it up different. Okay, so his was an emotional reaction to this thing here. Okay, yours will be yours. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and my sense is there's a feeling of this being a continual, and a continual opening, a continual revealing that, somebody was a miner and they strike gold. They're not going to stop there and say, oh, I found a piece of gold. I want to see
The
what's
mother lode.
here and keep digging.
Yeah, they want the mother lode, not a vein.
Yeah.
So again, a good trick. In the bigness of this, you haven't seen everything about it, experienced everything about it at that level, but you continue opening, so the more of it can show that it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big trick for everybody.
Yeah, it's very inviting. It really does. My sense was it really calls you back to want to come back to this, because it is, it is more than just
another enhancement.
Yeah. So it has a natural pull, I would say. And wanting to know it, because it's me. It's not small me, but it's
not your normal me, but
no.
it's related to you.
Yeah.
That there's something past the Steve lineage, something past the Bobby Nadeau lineage. Yeah. Now, in his case, it's showing golden. Okay. Susan, who I'll call in a couple of minutes to get her example, doesn't see a color yet. Okay. So because he has a color, I have a color with that one. But Susan doesn't, so you may have a color, you may not have a color. Your color will probably be different than our colors or qualities or whatever, okay? All right. So don't say, oh, I don't have it yet because it doesn't have a color, would be not right. That's what I'm trying to give you a heads up on. Okay, go.
Well, another key thing that I found so helpful when we were first talking about this third quality is it's one that I mean, I can't say for everybody else, but you seem to indicate it would be something that was neglected or overlooked.
Okay, but maybe I want to detract that. Maybe I want to do that for this guy. but the 3 is so big. It's not an everyday occurrence. It's so fancy. It's so advanced, could I say? That I don't want to say we overlooked it. If you were a normal human being, it wasn't there for you.
No,
You
I
got to
wouldn't
be
say
a little more
overlooked.
advanced. So
Uh,
let's not use that example, please.
I was thinking more that it would be something that since it's there, it's always been there. It's not
okay.
that it wasn't there before, but it was rejected.
Okay.
That may be a better way than overlooked.
So this third thing, this third quality, has probably popped in a little bit, little shoots through. And I think that's what he's talking about. He had a little shoot through with this, and he said, ah. And then as he hung out with it more and more, he realized he did that in a past life or two. Nah, not that. So maybe it's been around for a long time saying, hey, and he bit the finger that said, hey, not now. Get away from me. I got things to do here in my normal dumb world. Yes. Yeah. So gold color. What else do we need there? You don't have the fullness of it yet,
No.
but do you have any vague sense of maybe archetype? I'm not sure if this is going to come out. Is there sort of a your sense right now? If you sort of open, and I'll let you sort of make believe here for a moment. Is there going to be an archetype character of that world of 3?
You know, it's funny because you had mentioned don't necessarily think it's going to be male. And when you just asked that, you know what I mean, it kind of reminded me of Venus de Milo in a way. I'm not sure if that's the fullness of it, but it has.
No, of course it's not the fullness of it, people. Yeah. That's your first touch. And you hang out and you open some more and it clarifies. So Venus may change her form a bit to show the clearer of herself kind of thing. So don't stop short.
No.
There's more to be cleaned out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I mentioned the thing from Planet of the Apes, the Statue of Liberty, which in a way is somewhat similar to that.
Let me explain what you're talking about.
Okay.
When he first bumped into gold, it sort of reminded him of his rejection as a young boy, where his mom wanted him to be the golden boy. And he said, no, not me. Okay. But then he stayed on this boy level. I say, okay, what's the next level? A man level, whatever. But then I have to remind him also, let's not get stuck on it's male. First how you picked it up, but be very open. It may want to show it's a female force, a female presence. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, be ready to open more. It's definitely male. No question, it's a male. How do you know? Well, because his first sense of it was a golden boy. I don't know, maybe, but open up some more. Let it get clearer and clearer. And it'll begin to show more truer what it is. And if it's a male, it'll be. At your finest opening, it'll be male. If it isn't, it'll change along the way and say, well, not really, I'm really whatever. Female, okay, whatever. Yeah, so I wanted to explain what we were talking about. I don't want to run out of time, so I think I'm finished with you. Did you cover it?
Yeah, the only thing I want to just say is there's a great excitement, a great sense of possibility here. It really pulls you in because it's very enticing that this gold, this you've discovered gold. That's exciting.
It's a big step along the way, people. Step. But I want to remind you again, don't jump and pass on basic practice that you have to do. We all have to do basic practice to say, well, I'm going to pause on that because I'm really a sharp guy and I'm very advanced and I'm going to go just for three. It won't work well. It won't work. Okay, you can start to make believe what this is instead of it. So continue your basics. When it's time, remember the trick that he used. being more open, more open. If as you're more open, all you're getting is a better pool for the enhancement of your basic character, hey, why not? You know, Bobby to Robert to Nadeau to Sensei, holy shit, not a bad go around. Okay. Anyway, don't jump. And that's why I was leery of laying this out. Because you lay out something more finer and people jump for it. They don't want to do the grunt work. Okay. Don't know how to say that well, but that's a bad tendency in the human or beings, well, let's say the humans right now, of jumping. Yeah. And I would really caution you not to do that. If it shows, it shows. If it presents itself, it presents itself. We're giving you a bit of a heads up by saying if you get bumped, heavy duty, very different than a minor, boom, 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 from those guys, you kind of know maybe what's happening. But careful, don't make up stories. Oh, was that a bump? Was that the third quality? Oh, have I arrived? Watch out for the bullshit stuff. Okay, we can't embed in people an honesty factor. Just pray God you have a personal honesty factor. Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Thank
Susan,
you.
are you on? Is
She's
Susan
on,
on?
Sensei. She is
Ah.
on.
Yes, I am.
Good. We're eating up our time. Let's start with there you are, sitting, settling, opening, and one day something happened. Boom, you're on.
I was appreciating a lot of similarities with Steve and some of his descriptions, but I would say the first time I experienced this was playing with space and really opening up space.
Okay. So again, people, there's two in a row. More open, more space really, really seem to help. Okay, go ahead.
Critical, I would say, because if I'm too small, this is gonna really push on me. So
I don't think this can show to somebody who's a 1x1 or a 2x2. Let's continue to progress. There went that class. Let's continue to progress with our basics. And again, if that happens, it happens. Susan, go.
and the patience is also really critical. Just being willing to hang out with it. And like you were talking about before, it might show in a day, it might show in 2 days or 3 days, but not looking for it, just allowing it to show and being willing to hang out with it.
And could we go over again its presence? How do you know that that was very different than an increased pool, puddle, lake, whatever?
Well, because it's not a pool or a puddle or a lake, it's more like an ocean.
Okay. All right. But people can sort of track through this to an ocean. So this one is different.
I heard Steve use the word profound, and yes, it is profoundly different in the size and depth and power of it.
Okay. Power. And that word has come up here before. At first, when this shows the amount of power that it has. Everything's energy, but this is a biggie. So it's going to show more than our normal qualities of our 1-2 normal person. So a lot of power. We've heard it before. We'll hear it again. A lot of power. Now, don't jump the gun. Don't say, its quality is power. I'm not sure yet. Don't be so fast to jump the gun. You can note power. Okay, really was powerful. Yes, okay. But don't say, and that is the quality. We don't know that yet. We hang out, experience, soak, let it unveil itself more and more. Okay, go ahead, Susan.
I don't yet have a clear sense of a quality or the quality.
Yeah.
I have a sense that it's on a healing lineage, but I would not at this point be able to describe or give it a name.
Yeah. And then, of course, we being honest, right, Susan?
Yes.
Knowing where she is in the healing trade, that, yeah, of course, I would gravitate to that. So yes, and maybe, but maybe not. So don't let that, oh, it's going to be the great healer. Maybe, but we don't know that. Don't screw it over. Don't put your stamp on it. It has its own presence,
Right.
what it is itself.
Yes, because it is very clearly different. I know that it's me. I know that it is, yeah, it's me, but it is clearly so different from that
Me.
1-2
Me,
level person.
It's a whole different game. So
Yeah.
again, people are going to bullshit this, try to have your own honesty factor, but we're just trying to give you a little heads up for if this were to happen, you recognize it, you open, you work with it, you soak with it, whatever. Okay. And again, in telling people too much, Sensei was very good at not really talking clearly. Okay. And he used a wax poetically, I call it, which some people are trying to figure out now. And I'd say a lot of it is like he was waxing poetically. He said you'd have to say something, so I would say data kind of thing. We know the alchemists had their own language, okay? That there was a sense of to tell them too much. They understand it, the awareness half, mind, whatever, they understand it and they think they got it because they understand it and they don't got it. They got it is when it's being experienced this way. Not, I understand it, I got it. And in understanding it, I can kind of feel something, I'm experiencing it. Sorry. This experience is from here. Damn the words. This experience. Okay. We're running out of time. Susan, one last rah. You got something?
I think just patience for me is just being willing to hang out and not know, and trust that the more I open up the space, the more will show. Yeah, it's always a tendency to kind of want to know what it is.
Yeah, and even if you knew what it was, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. It's all bullshit talk.
Yes.
So you could know a lot about where Sensei was coming from when he was doing, quote, his magic Aikido. And you can know all about it, and you won't be able to do it. We'll kick your ass on the mat. Your knowing ain't going to do anything. Finishing up here, people. Anyway, I just wanted to make that clear that under talk we used to use is yes for the enhancement factor. It's a very good pattern. Very good. But for some people, this thing is starting to happen, and I didn't want a confusion between that pattern and suddenly this unknown new, as you heard them say, they were like, wow, kind of thing. It's different. Can we finish for tonight?
Thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you. Thanks for hanging out.
everyone.
Hope you got something out of that.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
So
Thank
next,
you. Good night.
Everybody.
next session will be April 5th, Friday, April 5. Friday.
You got time
April
to
5th.
practice.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.